I'd like to thank Professor Eyal Zisser for having invited me to discuss my book Eurabia, and to thank also Dr. Uriya Shavit for having organized this discussion and for his kind presentation. Eurabia is a follow-up of my various studies on dimitude, which examine the legal and political related institutions of jihad and dimitude based on Islamic theology. These institutions, based on an ideology, have induced a set of religious and mandatory laws. Jihad and dimitude have been among the most powerful forces of history, which have molded and changed whole continents and their population. Yet they are not much known except by specialists, and the concept of dimitude is generally refused or even misinterpreted. Dimitude developed as a consequence of the Islamization of vast conquest territories, which were at the beginning of the conquest populated by population that were not Islamic. This religious conquest of non-Muslim territories specifies the character of the conquered land, which become a waqf, that is a religious endowment for the Muslim Ummah. And this is stated until now in the Hamas Charter about Israel. But in fact, this concept of waqf covered all the whole planet, since according to the jihad ideology, the Muslims have a religious duty to conquer the whole planet in endowment. Is an endowment, a religious endowment for Muslims that has to be conquered, either peacefully, or if the non-Muslim population refuse to submit or to convert, then it will be military. This idea, this concept of waqf is a very important element in the ideology of jihad, and determine also the relationship between the Muslim community and the non-Muslims, since the non-Muslims are considered living illegally on territory that have to become a Muslim, have to be conquered by the Muslims. Jihad and dimitude are fundamental to Islamic civilization. One can even consider dimitude as a soft jihad. In other words, jihad and dimitude constitute the very grounds of interactions between Muslim and non-Muslim in time of war or in time of peace. And this pattern continues till today. It was these interactions with these diverse modalities in time and space that interested me, and which I have studied in my different books. But the transformation of Europe was obvious for me since the 1980s, when I was describing this phenomenon in the Islamization of Christian kingdoms in the past. I noticed the transformation of Europe, but I couldn't, the demographical, political and cultural evolution of this transformation looked to me as if it was an amorphous, senseless evolution. I didn't see that it was a policy, a thread that has planned this transformation. But what seemed strange to me was the type of totalitarian, unified, anti-Israeli, anti-Semitic and anti-American political culture that covered the whole of Europe, together with the devotion to Palestinianism, a new unifying Euro-Arab ideology. Throughout Europe, the same culture of hate against Israel and America, especially in the media, the universities, appeared with similar reference and vocabulary. It looked like something structured, deliberated, like a new totalitarian fascism. From 2000 onward, and especially after 9/11, it took insane proportions, and nothing could have gone against this wall of hate growing out of political Europe, although the Europeans themselves didn't harbor any anti-Semitic feeling. So it was really something that emanated from the government. I have described in my book Eurabia The Origin the different stages and the pan-European networks causing this development. Today, now with you, I just want to discuss the aspects and consequences of the transformation of Europe into a Euro-Arab continent, Eurabia, a name I have not invented, but which was created by those who conceived its ideologies and policies. Eurabia represents an ideology that has been planned, thought out and executed by the leaders of the European community since the 1970s. It was neither a senseless nor unorganized transformation, but it has developed according to a strategy. It started under the impulsion of Charles de Gaulle after the decolonization of Algeria. Then France was very much hated in its former Arab colony and in the Muslim world. And of course France, which had an important colonial Muslim empire and which considered always itself since the time of Napoleon III as a Muslim empire, France wanted to renew its good relations with the Muslim world. And in order to do that, de Gaulle decided after the decolonization of Algeria to support the Arab-Palestinian position, because this would of course make of France the champion of the political and Arab aims, especially against America. De Gaulle also wanted to establish Europe, the European community, as a pole independent from America, that would have adopted a policy rival to America. And of course the alliance with the whole Arab bloc would have made of France a tremendous power on international policy. The ambition of de Gaulle was also, of course, to bring Europe, the then 7 countries of the European community, into this alliance with the Muslim world. De Gaulle died in 1969, and this project of the alliance of the European community with the with the Arab bloc, Arab Muslim bloc, continued with his followers.